Here's another one, and welcome to another edition of the Triple W podcast. And on this one, I will be talking about the Backlash results. This is episode 12, and let's go ahead and dive right into it. Because I'm not trying to make it too long, just trying to breeze through it. Not to say that I'm just going to have acid, but I'm just not trying to take up too much time. I got a lot of other stuff that I need to go ahead and get out. And let me go ahead and push this one out. So basically, it started off with the pre-show. We had Bayley versus Ruby Riott. So I just basically want to say that I put out my predictions on the last episode, episode 11, and I can say that majority of my predictions were right. I can say maybe two out of how many matches, I don't know, but two out of however many matches was on the card tonight. Well, not tonight, but last night I got wrong, but every other one I got right. Now, certain matches, I was dibbling and dabbling. I have other stuff to do or whatever, so I was trying to pay attention as much as I could. Some matches I was paying attention more than others, but other matches, I was able to watch enough of it to where I can do an accurate review. So don't think I'm about to just sit here, but oh yeah, remember that spot when AJ Styles did the spinneroonie and he kicked Nakamura in the nutsack, and Nakamura jumped up and did 10 flips. I'm not about to do that. I paid attention enough to where I can go ahead and do it. But basically, anyway, let's get right back to it. So Bayley versus Ruby Riott. Ruby Riott wins. I thought that Bayley was going to win. I thought that it was going to add to the extended storyline rivalry between her and Sasha Banks, to where Sasha couldn't get the job done with Ruby, and so Bayley went at Ruby, and now Bayley ends up winning. But no, it's kind of the same. So I'm thinking it's more of they're not going towards the whole rivalry between Bayley and Sasha, but they're going to probably put them together, and it's them two, and they're probably going to add another person to the mix to go against the Riott Squad. That's what I'm thinking at this point. Maybe they're gonna do something different, whatever. But that's what I think. But so Ruby, she did these knee things that I don't know, like Ruby. This is the second time that she's done something like this that I haven't seen. So it was these knees that she did where she was like basically on the turnbuckle. Well, she was holding on to the turnbuckle when she jumped up as Bayley was about to run under her, and she basically landed on Bayley's shoulders with her knees or whatever, and she basically pulled her body, her lower body forward, and pushed Bayley, with her knees into the mid turnbuckle. And I'm like, that was kind of decent. I kind of like that. I don't know, like Ruby Riott seems to be trying to pull out stuff. Like, I don't know, like, maybe correct me if I'm wrong, but I haven't seen her do this. Of course, I haven't followed her on NXT or anything beyond that. I don't know if she was on the indie circuit before she went to NXT, but it was like, that's the first time that I've ever seen that move. And more than likely, just by the commentators' reaction to it, that's more than likely the first time them seeing that move. But yeah, she did that, and I was just like, damn. That was just my reaction to it. But Ruby Riott ends up winning, and Sasha's in the back looking on, just like how Bayley looked on during her match. And I guess I didn't see that part of the pre-show, but Bayley wanted Sasha out with her, but Sasha denied because of, Bayley didn't come out to, support Sasha while she was out there going against Ruby Riott. So yeah, she loses that match. And so the first match on the actual, Backlash pay-per-view, it was the Intercontinental Championship match, which was Seth Rollins, the champion, the current champion, versus The Miz. And this match was a good match. I know I've heard like a lot of people say that this match was like the best match on the card or whatever. And I'm not going to disagree. I enjoyed this match. This was a match that I did like pay attention to. That it was pretty damn good. It's amazing because as I was watching it, I was thinking like, I don't know what show he was on. I think it was like The Real World, where he was like going around calling himself like, I'm The Miz, and and acting like The Rock, but calling himself The Miz, which I've heard that's where he got his name from, The Miz. But it's weird because like I didn't watch it, but I did. My brother used to watch it, and he watched the season with him on there and everything else, and it's so amazing to see someone like that. I mean, no one actually really talks about it that much. No one actually really talks about it, and it's so crazy just to look at somebody like him, who basically had his start on TV on a reality show, or I guess you could say semi-reality show, if you really believe that those aren't, those are, scripted, at least most of it or whatever. But it's like, whatever the case is, to go from that to basically have this dream that you're going to be a wrestler, your name is The Miz, and to actually make it to WWE. And not only make it to WWE, but to thrive. I mean, for a minute, like, he started off from the bottom, and then he went up to the top, WWE champion, which, a lot of people aren't in favor of him as, like, the WWE champion when he was the WWE champion. But then he kind of fell off, and he was just this mid-carder, just, like, struggling to stay, relevant and, in people's eyes and all that stuff. So, and he was losing a lot, and really didn't nobody care about him until he had this resurgence where he basically popped back into people's minds, where people were paying attention to The Miz. And now he's right where he's at, to where people want him to be WWE champion or Universal champion or whatever, or just a champion, period. And it's so crazy just to see his metamorphosis from that all the way to this. But I know I'm straying away from it, but I mean, that was just a thought that I had while watching it. It's just so crazy to see that. Not to tell, I mean, just to tell people that, man, I'm a WWE wrestler, and not just to tell them that, and, you just be a mid-carder like, that's Kurt Hawkins, who make an appearance every other month or whatever, but to actually be on TV making a splash, that's so crazy. But, yeah, so it came out the way I predicted it. I predicted that Seth Rollins was going to go ahead and take it. I didn't see it going back to SmackDown, or it going to SmackDown, because they already got the United States Championship, and the United States Championship was defended by two SmackDown people. So it would be kind of redundant to have not only SmackDown has the WWE Championship, their own women's and their own tag championships, but they have the United States and the Intercontinental Champion. So that was just kind of like booking on WWE's part. If they would have said something, basically put emphasis on, like, if Miz wins, then he goes back to Raw or something like that, then I could see that. But they didn't make it like that. They made it seem like, if he wins, then the Intercontinental Championship comes to SmackDown. So I don't know, like, that's what made it unbelievable. So it came out the way I thought that it was going to come out, that Rollins was going to win. And it was a good match. It was back and forth, and there was a lot of close calls. But eventually, Rollins ended up hitting him with the curb stomp and getting a 1, 2, 3, and actually pretty decent match. After that, we got Nia Jax versus Alexa Bliss. In my predictions, I predicted that Nia Jax was gonna win. There ain't no way they about to sit here and take it right off of her, especially with her going against a person like, Alexa Bliss. Not saying that, and I'm not taking anything away from Alexa Bliss. Alexa Bliss is decent up in the ring. She's sexy as hell, and she holds the title good or whatever. But I can't see her winning unless she's like really cheating, or she has people in her corner to help her out. I mean, she does have Mickie James, but Mickie James, she wasn't even on the pay-per-view. I'm guessing ever since she met up with Nia Jax at the Greatest Royal Rumble, that she... Oh, was that the Greatest Royal Rumble? No, I'm tweaking. They didn't even have the females there. But ever since she met up with Nia Jax before, it was like she hasn't really made an appearance. So, yeah, so Nia Jax Alexa Bliss went at it along. And what was, like, weird was that she basically kind of dominated a lot of the match. This tiny, girl, as compared to Nia Jax, she dominated Nia Jax. Not like dominated as Nia Jax would dominate somebody else, but she basically was holding the match on her own. She was the dominant person throughout the whole match. And then after several attempts of doing the Samoan drop off the top turnbuckle, which she did it before, and that's how she won the Raw Women's Championship from Alexa. She tried to do it several times, but no can do. Alexa was saying she finally just reluctantly, just like, well, not reluctantly, but she just like fuck it and just did it just regularly or whatever, and she ends up getting her for the pin. And one thing that just kind of threw me off, which I know it threw a lot of people off, was just this big cliche, just corny, like, speech that Nia Jax gave at the end. You know, it's like, you don't need to have sympathy. That's what Alexa Bliss is there for. She is a good talker, and she's basically garnering you sympathy. So all you have to do is just play the victim sometimes, and then basically just beat her ass when you get the chance to. That's all you need to do. You don't need to sit there in the middle of the ring. And I'm not saying this is just Nia Jax's fault. I'm not saying here like, oh, she has total control over what she does. This is WWE. It doesn't make any sense for storyline. Like, you're going to sit there in the ring and be like, this is for all the people that was, you know, bullied, whether in person or online and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, oh my gosh, you sound so corny. You sound like an absolute afternoon special. I don't know. After school special. I wasn't feeling it. It was just, they could have kept that little in. After that, we got Randy Orton versus Jeff Hardy for the United States Championship. And, you know, I didn't think that they were going to take it off of Jeff Hardy. And I was right. And Jeff Hardy ends up winning. Decent match. I didn't expect too much from it. You know, Randy Orton just coasting. He's just getting a can't talk. He's just getting a paycheck nowadays, and it was like, I didn't expect too much of this match, even though it was a decent match. I mean, you got like a big name like Randy Orton going against a big name like Jeff Hardy, who just came back. I mean, actually recently, he just came back last year, but just came back from a injury that he, you know, had or whatever, and he ended up winning the title. So I didn't think that they were going to take it off of him that quick. So I wasn't expecting too much from that. After that, we had a kind of almost a concert with Elias coming out, but due to a lot of interruptions with the New Day in English, No Way Jose, Bobby Roode comes out as well, and he gives the glorious DDT to Elias, then walks out and does the conga line with No Way Jose and the rest of everybody else that interrupted Elias. And you can kind of guess that he's going to be pretty damn upset by that. But anyway, moving on to Big Cass versus Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan, I thought, you know, he was going to win. It could have gone either way. It really could have gone either way. It could have gone to where Big Cass won. That way he can gloat about it and all this stuff. But I think the next match, Bryan is going to lose against Big Cass. I didn't think, it didn't feel like he was going to win, you know, Big Cass. I didn't think that Big Cass was going to win this one. I felt like they were going to have Daniel Bryan win this one. That way it could be like, okay, yeah, you know, he is good or whatever. And then, you know, Big Cass is going to prove to him the next time and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, I just felt like he wasn't going to win. And even like with these matches, I don't know if it's for anybody else, but I felt, you know, every time Daniel Bryan get hit in the head or something like that, I'm like, ooh, like, you know, you kind of clenching, like, you don't know, because like any moment he can get hit the wrong way, something can go horribly wrong, and he's, you know, taken right out the ring. And that's the last thing we would want to see. It was this whole big thing about him getting taken, you know, out, you know, and him retiring, and then now it's this whole big thing about him coming back, and, you know, it's like, you kind of don't want him to have like a couple month, you know, run in wrestling, and then now he's forced to retire and more than likely won't ever come back to wrestling again. Like, I want him to have some years, and I want him to retire on his own. But in any case, I don't know if I'm the only person, but that's how I feel. But he wins via the yes lock, which I didn't think that was going to happen. I thought it was either going to be he was going to win flat out 1, 2, 3 with the knee, with the flying knee, or he was going to do something to where Big Cass was distracted, and he, you know, he kind of like, or, you know, Big Cass may be doing the whole gloating thing, and he ends up finding an advantage where he, rolls him up for a pin, and then, Big Cass is mad because Daniel Bryan got one over on him. So, but I was surprised to see that. And then after the match, Cass attacks Bryan, which basically, it furthers the storyline. I mean, I guess it is what it is. Carmella versus Charlotte for the SmackDown Women's Championship. This went how I thought it was going to go. As far as like the winner, I'm not saying like I knew that it was going to happen, because my prediction was that Carmella was going to win, but it was going to be due to the Iconics. Now, that probably would have been better, because she did win, but it was due to the fact that Charlotte basically hurt her knee, and then she took advantage, which I kind of have no problem with that. But I think it probably would have been better if she had the Iconics run out, distract her. That way she could have got the victory. But she got it. One of the things that was just kind of like annoying to me, or just became annoying, is that Carmella is sexy as hell. You're going to hear me say about this to a lot of females. Carmella is sexy as hell. I have nothing against her. But her throughout the match yelling, it kept getting on my nerve. I'm like, why are you yelling? And it was just so, I'm like, no, you don't need to yell. Like shut up. And she kept doing it throughout the whole match. And just like Alexa, she literally dominated the match. Literally. And it's like majority of the match, you saw Charlotte basically in like a submission hold, or you saw her laying on her back, and you saw Carmella just taking control. So it's like, it's kind of like a reversal this on Sunday. It was just weird that certain, like, the heels were basically dominating, even though like one of them lost. But even though you would think that the face would end up basically dominating, because Charlotte is better as far as wrestling, even just bigger than Carmella, and then Nia Jax is way bigger than Alexa, so you would think that they would dominate over the other, but no, it was the other way around, completely the other way around. And yeah, that's all I really got to say about that. It was I don't know, it was a match. AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura for the WWE Championship. Now, why this match wasn't the main event, I have no clue. Now, it seems like WWE, for some reason, is putting the Universal Championship over their own championship. I mean, Universal Championship is their championship, but the WWE Championship has a lineage leading all the way back to, when the company was founded, and it's like, or, if I'm off a couple years, because maybe it was called something else before they called it the WWE, or, WWF Championship, which is kind of like intermingled with each other, even though the name changed. It's still kind of like the lineage still goes back to WWF days. But even then, maybe when they first got the championship, it was the NWA or something like that. So I don't know. I'm not like a historian on wrestling. That's just not my thing. I am a big fan of wrestling. Whatever. Anyway, but it's so weird how they will put the Universal Championship over the WWE Championship at a lot of pay-per-view events. I get certain people are big money. Maybe, a Roman Reigns and a Brock Lesnar or whatever. That will be a bigger grand match than the Shinsuke versus AJ. And I kind of get that. But you would want to advertise the WWE Championship as your prized possession, no matter what show is on. If it's on NXT, you want it to, be your prized possession. And like, ever since the Universal Championship was created, they put the Universal Championship over it for some reason. And this match, it's like they literally should have put the WWE Championship match on last. And with the way it ended, I guess a lot of people could say, yeah, it was, maybe it was for the best. But at the end of the day, when you look at it, clear as day, when you look at the lineup, the card or whatever, even though we didn't know which matches was going to come in which order, if we saw the lineup that which match was going to come in what order, and we knew it, and we saw that Roman Reigns versus Samoa Joe was going to come after, well, basically was gonna come at the main event, you would be like, why isn't Shinsuke Nakamura and AJ Styles? It's like they're holding AJ Styles up to be a big player in WWE, but yet you're not giving him a chance to shine in the main event. I don't know. It just seems kind of odd to me. It's like no matter who's holding it, like you should have. I'm sorry, I had to fix that. You should have the WWE Championship as the main event. I don't know if like people. I don't know. Maybe somebody could tell me why, but whatever. But it wasn't. So we got what we got. The match was basically a lot of nutcrackers. This was like a nutcracker match. I don't know why they're continuing this thing with Shinsuke Nakamura and doing the whole nutcracking thing, and it's like AJ Styles not finding any type of cup to wear during the matches or anything that's going to basically provide protection down there from Shinsuke, even though he knows Shinsuke might lurk up behind him, or he might end up doing that during the match, after the match, or whatever, before the match. It's like, why aren't you wearing protection down there to where you are not going, that he's not going to take advantage of it? Like, why? It doesn't make sense to me. You should learn. You know, it's like, one time, shame on me. Or no, one time, shame on you. 2 times, shame on me. 3 times, you know, it shouldn't be a 3rd time. I don't know. But, I mean, he got his leg back in this match. He hit him in the nuts after he got hit in the nuts. And then it was like, yeah. But, and one of the things that I pointed out in the match, that AJ Styles, to block the Kinshasa from that was about to be delivered by Shinsuke, he threw the steel chair that was in the ring, he threw it at his knee. It bounced off his knee and hit AJ Styles in the cheek. And it was like, I saw it when he first did it. I'm like, did he just get hit in the face? You know, and like they played shots and shots again of it, and then they eventually ended up playing the footage where you can actually see it hit him in the cheek. And then after that, you see him get up and there's blood on his cheek, and it was like, yeah, that was kind of like a thing that that was the chair you kind of should have held on to that. Maybe in a position to where it probably wouldn't hit you back even as you're holding it, hit you back in the face. But yeah, I don't know. But yeah, he got hit in the face pretty good. And but yeah, this match ended up, the winner basically ended up how I thought it was going to be. I thought that Styles was going to keep it. They weren't going to give it to Shinsuke. But, yeah, but it didn't end how I thought it was going to end. I had anybody else thought it was going to end. It ended in a double countout due to the fact that both of them kicked each other in the nuts again. Or hit each other in the nuts again, this time kicking at the same time and falling and not getting enough for the 10 count, which was kind of weird because it's like, it's a no disqualification, so why are there 10 counts to get up? It shouldn't be that way. And you can tell that a lot of people was pissed because once they counted 10 and said it was a double count out and AJ Styles retains and blah blah, it was a lot of upset people that this thing happened, you know. And I was, you know, it's just, you know, they could have ended it better. This is about to start getting old before they go any further with the whole Shinsuke and nutcracking thing. I don't know what they can do from now on. But yeah, this was it's starting to get old with the whole thing. This is all about just hitting the other person in the nuts. I don't know what Shinsuke have with nuts or other guys nuts, but he may need to get over it if he's going to try to win the WWE Championship. More than likely, he's going to get one more chance before he just can't get any other chances. But I think next on the docket is AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe. So that is the way it is. Do I have anything else to say about this? Nope. And the next match is Lashley and Braun Strowman versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. And the reason I said Lashley and I didn't say Bobby Lashley, because, you know, I kind of messed up. but it's only a certain amount of time before they shorten his name to Lashley. Like Elias and who else? And it's weird because it was backwards with Charlotte Flair because they came out calling her Charlotte. Now she's Charlotte Flair, but they still call her Charlotte. So it was like there was no point of adding Flair to it. But yeah, they cut off certain people's names. Well, it was a couple other people that they cut off their names. But in any case, so the way I believe I predicted that Bobby Lashley. No. I predicted that. Oh, excuse me. I'm trying not to sneeze. That Owens and Zayn was going to win. And it ended up not happening. This is the only other match that I got wrong. And basically, Bobby Lashley and Braun Strowman ends up winning. And it basically, the match played out the way you think it was played out. There was certain things that happened, notable things that happened up in the match that basically I don't think anybody could, predict that was going to happen. Zayn, during the end of the match, he tries to leave out, but Owens stops him and asks him, like, what is he doing? And then he said, come on, let's just go. And Owens is telling him, like, no, we need to fight. We're going to fight. And then he said, okay. And then Sammy throws Owens up in the ring and he gets chopped by Braun Strowman. And he ends up rolling out the ring. And then Sami Zayn was like, you see? Now come on. And so Kevin Owens returned the favor by grabbing him, throwing him in the ring. And then basically coming to the edge of the ring, and Sami Zayn was like, why you do that, blah, blah, blah. And then they have an exchange with Braun Strowman behind him, with Bobby Lashley behind him, well, on the other side. And then we got Kevin Owens as well. And basically, Sami Zayn ends up smacking Kevin Owens because he wants to get out. And so he sees that he made him mad and that he's cornered by these three guys. And so he ends up sliding out the ring, leaving Kevin Owens in the ring to basically get the running power slam by Braun Strowman, in which no, he gets the what is it, the suplex, I forgot what they call it. He gets the suplex, the standing suplex by Bobby Lashley, and he gets the pin. And basically, he does Braun Strowman this time, picks him up and does the running power slam to him. After that, he catches Sami Zayn as he's going up the ramp, and he throws him back in the ring and does the running power slam to him, which basically, that's it. Both of them got laid out. So, that this is going to most likely play out on Raw. Actually, yeah, Raw or whatever. I forgot that they got, shooken over to Raw. But this is going to play out on Raw, the whole deception. I don't think they're going to cut them off right away, but it is what it is. And so getting to the last match of the night, which was Roman Reigns versus Samoa Joe. And this match ended out the way I thought it was going to end it. Roman Reigns, he already had a few losses under his belt recently. So I didn't think that he was going to, major losses. I didn't think that he was going to lose this match against Samoa Joe. As much as I would have loved to see Samoa Joe win, and I know a lot of people probably would have loved to see that, I didn't think it was going to happen. And it didn't happen. He wins via spear. Samoa Joe, at the beginning of the match, attacks Roman Reigns, puts him through the table with the Uranage. Or Uranagi. Uranagi. He puts him through one of the tables, and then he throws him across the other two tables that was outside. And basically, once he gets back in there, they start to get into the match. And it's like the crowd really wasn't feeling what was happening in the ring. I basically was hearing that a lot of people were leaving maybe even during the main event, or just right after it ended, people were getting up and leaving because there was a lot of sections that were free, or just people just didn't want to see anymore. And that's the thing. It's like, I was thinking, like, why didn't WWE, I'm going to get back to, the whole match and whatnot, but I was just thinking, why didn't WWE, instead of having every pay-per-view co-branded, as they say, why didn't they do it like they did with the first, brand split, where Raw gets a pay-per-view event one month, and then the next month is SmackDown, and then the next month is Raw, and then just do it like that, and then have the big major ones, of course, a Royal Rumble, what is it, WrestleMania, Money in the Bank, Survivor Series, SummerSlam, and have like pay-per-view events like those be co-branded. That way you can have 6-hour shows for those big ones, because those are the big main shows. And then you're going to have, a 4 or 5 hour, maybe even 6 hours pay-per-view, every single pay-per-view. It shouldn't be like that. Like, I say just keep it. You don't have to have 2 pay-per-views a month, where one is SmackDown and one is Raw, because I was just horrible trying to keep up with the predictions and results and stuff. It was like, nah. But I think that they should just keep it to one a month, and just have Raw have 1 month, SmackDown have the other month. Maybe the next month after that is co-brand, and it's just, nah, they just don't need to do that. But in any case, I think that's why a lot of people were getting kind of antsy about it, because this is what's going to happen from now on when you reach every single pay-per-view event. We have 6 more weeks into Money in the Bank, which is in Chicago. I don't even know if I'm going to attend, which I doubt it, but yeah, I really want to. But we're going to have the same results unless they have a really good, main event. I don't think it's going to end the same way. A lot of people are going to be leaving towards the main event, or maybe even before then. But yeah, so the crowd really wasn't feeling it. Like I said, they were leaving, or if they hadn't already left, they were leaving, or left at the end of the match. And then throughout the match, you can hear them basically yell at a whole bunch of stuff. They was either yelling or chanting CM Punk, Rusev Day, boring, or one I heard was beat the traffic or something like that. It was like they were not into this match, because this match mainly resulted in like a whole bunch of just holds. It wasn't a match that you would think that Roman Reigns and Samoa Joe would have, especially with the chemistry that they developed throughout the weeks and stuff, or the past month. It's like you would think that it would be more aggressive, probably incidental blood or whatever, but no, it just really wasn't. And then Roman Reigns, like I said, he wins. And I was just thinking that they might as well, they might as well just end up, making the ending of every single pay-per-view Roman Reigns' music, because it seemed like at the end of every pay-per-view is always Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns is going to win. Majority of it, And it's like, yeah, I'm getting tired of like that, ending off with Roman Reigns. Even though I know the last 2 times that Roman Reigns was in the ring was with Brock Lesnar, and Brock Lesnar won both times or whatever. But it just seems like there are a lot of pay-per-view events that end off with Roman Reigns being at the main event and he wins, and then you hear dun 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 dun, and it's kind of a familiar thing that it's like they might as well just leave that, have that as the ending, outro music to every single pay-per-view event, because that's more than likely what you're gonna hear a lot of for these coming pay-per-views. More than likely, Roman Reigns is gonna be in the main event for Money in the Bank. So I mean, I don't know. But yeah, that concludes this episode of the Triple W Podcast, episode 12, which is the result for the Backlash pay-per-view that came on yesterday. And I'd say this went pretty damn good. This went pretty well. Wasn't trying to make it too long. But yeah, that's all I really got to say about it. And I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace out. So hey, before you guys leave this video, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button and give this video a like, because it will really help me out. And hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And you see that little bell? That's the notification. Turn that on. That way you'll be notified for anything that drops on my channel. And if you look down in the description below, you will see all the links to my social media. So go ahead and follow me on those if you haven't already. As well as there are links to my other content that's on the channel, from movie reviews to podcasts to so much more. And I hope to see you guys here again next time. So thanks and peace out.